Is this working? I had to change the bit rate. I think I was getting some drop frames. Hello, Divyesh. Divyesh. Frederick. Brian. Best name ever. DJ David. What up, French fry? Yeah, I'm burnt. I'm burnt pretty bad, so that's not fun. I think everything is good. It said encoding was overloaded when I was doing it at 15, so I'm gonna rely on you guys to let me know the quality of the stream as far as drop frames go. I'm so nervous right now. I'm like shaking almost. Okay, what about drop frames? How is this? Is it good quality? Good. Joshua, Riven, Tunger, Hiya, Gigafied. Guys, thank you for tuning in to this potentially catastrophic event where I decide that I really need to delid my 7940X. So, hope we brought the socks. You know, Brian? Oh shit. I have no holes in my socks. Thank you very much. So, everything looks good though? Awesome. Okay, so, man, I'm nervous. So this is gonna be kind of a double thing for me. I do wanna make a video, like I wanna produce a video for YouTube showcasing the delidding process. I do have, shit, I forgot to turn on that camera. I gotta turn that other camera on, hold on. Okay, so I do have this other camera set up here. It's funny, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras pointed at me right now. So what you're seeing right now is actually a Logitech 4K USB camera that someone sent to me, and they do not want to be named, but I do want to say thank you very much because that actually enabled me to do this live stream at the same time. Because I wanted to utilize both of my main cameras, like my FS7 and my Sony AX100 to record the video. And if I was gonna do that, I was not going to be able to live stream just because of the way it's set up, or at least not live stream very well. So instead, I got an AverMedia conference room 4K video and then a Logitech one, all sent to me by this person, and they are awesome. So thank you very much for that. It's a bit laggy. I'm sorry if it's a bit laggy. Let me know if it gets too bad because I can drop the bit rate down to make it a little bit more usable. So I'm using a 5960X, just a software encoder. Hopefully it can keep up, but no promises. But anyways, now I can live stream. So now I'm gonna be making a video at the same time. So there's gonna be a little bit of production there where I might pause or get some close-ups or do some other stuff. So just bear with me on this. Yeah. Okay, so this is my 7940X. Pretty much, this thing runs way too damn hot, and it's annoying as hell. I mean, I've been backing it down, like my overclocking. I've been backing it down to where it's like a usable rate, and I found that about 4.11 gigahertz was about what I was comfortable running. Although it's only comfortable when I'm using things like Premiere Pro, just because Premiere doesn't utilize all of the cores all the time, doesn't run it pegged out all the time. So I was like getting about 94 degrees Celsius when I was running, you know, Premiere Pro. So that was usable. I need a knife. Where the frick is my knife? Okay. So, 94 degrees is what I was averaging. Sometimes a little higher, but 94 degrees is where it's at. However, when I ran Prime 95, that's where things still get hairy because at 4.11 gigahertz in my overclock and 1.1 voltage, I was still pegging it, TJ Maxx at 104. So I mean, that is just, it's shitty. It's really, really shitty. So it sucks that Intel pretty much makes you do this in order to get decent temps. But either way, that's something that's weird. Something that I have to do. And I can invest a bunch of money, you know, into like a full-blown water cooling loop, but what is that gonna do for me if I am still gaining, you know, an excess of possibly 20 degrees Celsius just from the shitty Intel job of their IHS. So since they're not soldering them anymore, I think the last time they did that was 2012 or something, but since they're not soldering anymore, that's something that we have to deal with as on a consumer side. So that's where I have this. So this is a Rocket Cool. Actually, I'm making a video, so I'm gonna explain all that in my video. Okay, I'm gonna try to switch over to my my fancy camera setup here. Let me know if this works. I tried to level out all of my cameras to match up with each other as much as possible. I try to get this like little, you know, bird's eye, or not bird's eye view, but ant's view, I guess, on the table. I got the one right over the head, and then of course the one that you're seeing over there. So, kind of freaking out right now. I do need to start recording before I really get into everything that I have here. I'll explain it more, that way I'm not boring everybody here with a double explanation. So everything looks good on the stream. Looks like it. Okay, perfect. I think everything is good. Let me check my processing power. Hitting 100%, but I'm not getting any warnings from OBS, so I think I might be good. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to start recording. Yeah. Where's my freaking thing? Okay. Okay, that's recording, perfect. Audio sync in 3, 2. In today's video, I can't believe I'm doing this. In today's video, I'm going to break my 7940X. Hopefully, though, to drop the temperature just a little bit using liquid metal. In today's video, I am going to break my 7940X on purpose. Hopefully, though, I'll get some better temps. Yeah, fucking. In today's video, I'm going to purposely break my 7940X in an attempt to get better temperatures with liquid metal. Intro, done. Okay. Oh man, okay. I'm like sweaty, damn it. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Bite My Bits. Like I said, I am going to be delidding my 7940X, a $1,150 processor. At least that's what I paid for it originally. I actually went back just a few moments ago and checked on Newegg to see how much my potential catastrophic failure will cost me. And it looks like they actually dropped the price. Now it's only $1,125. So totally bonus. Totally bonus. So awesome. Ah, fuck it. I'm not even gonna do that. That was stupid. So totally bonus. Fucking retarded. To do the delidding today, I actually went on to Rocket Cool. They actually have a kit. Haven't even opened it up yet, but this is supposed to make things a heck of a lot easier than the standard put it in a vise and just kind of pray to the computer gods that everything works out. I have the standard block. This is going to essentially delid the processor for me. Plus I have a relidding tool, and I decided, much to a little bit of controversy online, I actually decided to get the copper IHS replacement. I figure I'm going to be delidding this processor. I might as well try to get the best bang for my buck. Since I'm already doing this, why not replace the copper, or replace the IHS with the copper IHS and just hope to get maybe 1 to 3 degrees more drop in my temperature. Also, I got some sealant. Also, I got some gasket maker sealant. Now this will take 6 to 8 hours to cure, so unfortunately I will have to wait to see if I broke my processor completely, but I did want to be able to seal everything up afterwards because even though the IHS is going to be held in place by my all-in-one cooler attachment, I still don't want it coming off. I mean, to me, I think that's just added risk. Every time you have to take that processor out or deal with it at all, you run the risk of potentially damaging the processor if your IHS is not sealed on. I'm trying, guys. This is freaking scary though, man. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I'm just like freaking out. Okay. So in my long list of tools, I actually just kind of added a bunch of crap from Rocket. I don't know if I'm going to need it all, but I figured why the hell not? I'm ignorant on this, so I've of course bought the block, I of course bought the relidding tool, but then I end up purchasing this kit. This is a HyperCleanse CPU prep kit. Don't know if I'll need this now, but I figured, hell, it was only like 10 or 15 bucks. Why not get this just in case I need it in the future? Now for the liquid metal of my choice, I've done a lot of research online and everyone seems to point to this. This is thermal grizzly, yes, grizzly, conductinaut. This is thermal grizzly This is thermal grizzly conductinaut. This is pretty much, it's liquid metal. What the fuck do I say? This is thermal grizzly conductinaut. Now, this is pretty much what most people swear by for liquid metals of choice. And actually, I forgot. Fuck, I need tape. Tape's right there. Now when it comes to the connection point between my all-in-one cooler, which is a Corsair H150i, I did decide to also go with Thermal Grizzly, the Cryonaut. It's not going to be a liquid metal application between the all-in-one and the IHS. I thought about it, and I may do that in the future, but for right now, I just want to go with normal thermal grace. I thought about it, but I decided for right now I'm just going to go with normal thermal grease, and if I need better temperatures, I can try the liquid metal route down the line. After all, I should have plenty left over. And then after I am done breaking my processor on purpose, I'm going to use this. This is a sealant that should allow me to get, wait, I already talked about this. Never mind, just kidding. I need a drink of water or something. Now to help me along my way, I do have a few things, even though this came with some stuff, but I'm going to be using some cotton swabs potentially to get the liquid metal spread out throughout the IHS or the chip itself. I got some good old-fashioned coffee filters. This is for, cleaning off the thermal grease. I do have some regular paper towels just in case I need those. And of course, I brought some rubbing alcohol, even though I think this, yeah. This actually came with a bunch of different cleaning solutions, but I mean, rubbing alcohol, it pretty much works for everything, so. So let's dive right in. I actually haven't opened any of this, and hopefully everything looks good on camera, yes. Now these are just plastic blocks, potentially even 3D printed, but maybe not. Now I think all in all, when it comes to what I spent on everything you see here, including the Thermal Grizzly, I think I spent somewhere in the realm of like 80 bucks total, and that's for everything you see here. So the kit itself to delid was like 50 bucks, and then I paid another $10 to $15 for the copper IHS relidding kit. another 10 bucks for this. So it's probably about 80 bucks with the thermal grease and everything. So it's not too expensive to break your processor. The expensive part is if you break it permanently. So hopefully I don't do that. What does your wife say when you're in your room talking to yourself? Well, that's a long story, but she doesn't say anything now. Take all the time you need. I have to take my time, yes, but I do want to at least get it done in a decent fashionable time, like whatever. So with this kit, of course, I get the block. This is going to be what you set the processor into. You're going to screw these two together and then pretty much just use this to push in the small aluminum block right here. And that is what is going to be breaking the seal on the processor. Once you do that, then you should, with little effort, hopefully, be able to take the IHS off of the processor itself without any damage. At least that's the hope. Now in this kit, I do get some stickers, so that's cool. Probably won't use those, but hey, that's there. This is the relidding kit, so this should go on top of this, like so. And this is pretty much going to allow me to put the processor back in there, and I don't actually know how that works, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But you put the processor back in there, clamp it down, and that basically holds it in place while your sealant or your glue or whatever your preference of choice is for, you know, resealing the CPU IHS to the CPU. And that will hold it there while it cures. So. And then the other packet, it looks like I have some cleaner. Has no other label on it, just says cleaner, but it's kind of a weird brown color. I don't know what it's supposed to clean. I don't know if you are supposed to use this on your processor or what. I probably should have read up on that. Acetone. I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna use that for. I got my frickin'... Yeah, I probably wasted my money on this. But one good thing that I do have here is that these spreaders should be pretty good for spreading the liquid metal. So these little miniature Q-tips here, this is actually probably polish for liquid metal and fiberglass, restores paint. Yeah, all of this was wasted. I probably spent 10 bucks on stuff I didn't need just to get these little Q-tips that I'm probably gonna use to spread the liquid metal. And the reason why I would prefer these over the standard Q-tips, because it looks like these aren't gonna have those loose fibers, whereas this, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but just right out of the box, it's got a bunch of fibers hanging off. And the last thing I wanna do is get a bunch of fibers integrated into the liquid metal that I'm putting on my processor. So these, on the other hand, do not have those fibers hanging off. These are gonna be much more useful for this particular application. Acetone breaks down the glue. Okay, good. Whew. Okay, I should know that, but now I do know that, so that's good, thank you. So to start this off, this should have... So to start this off, I need to line the arrow. As you can see here on this block, they have a little arrow on the side, and this is basically to align the arrow up here. So you want to place the processor in like so, so the arrow lines up. Let's see if I can get that on the other camera there. There we go. So you get that to line up. And before I go any farther, I do want to give a huge shout out to And before I go any farther, I do want to give a huge shout out to Gamers Nexus. I watched a bunch of Steve's videos on his delidding process, his learning curve that he had when he was delidding 7900Xs, and I think that it's helped me a lot, kind of given me a lot of what to expect. He also gave me some tips, you know, some things that he ran into that hopefully I can apply in this video and avoid you know, messing up a processor. So Steve actually almost broke a processor by getting liquid metal on some capacitors and some other stuff. So I'm gonna use, you know, his, and I wanna say failures loosely, but I wanna use his failures, you know, to hopefully not have any of my own. So. God damn. That looks crappy. And this is actually, I forgot to open this, but this is actually the copper IHS replacement that hopefully would give me maybe a couple degrees even better temperatures than the standard IHS that comes with it. So there's no promises there, but I'm really hoping that it does. And before I do that, I actually want to make sure I line this up right. Just so I don't forget. Take a picture of it. Perfect. All right, let's go to the chat room. Skylake Delidding looks more sophisticated. Acetone breaks down glue. Acetone does nothing to silicone, and since IHS is being held down by silicone, you can't use acetone to remove it. Okay, so does it or does it not break down the silicone? Because I'm gonna have to take it off of the board here, and yeah, so let me know in the chat. I need someone that knows what they're talking about. Okay, so once I get this placed in here and I get the arrows lined up, I want to make sure that I get everything, this little aluminum block moved over here. And if you don't have it moved over, you can always adjust it like that. You're just going to set this on the top, line that up, and then utilize these screws. There's only 2 of them. What in the frickin' Sam hell? Oh, okay. Then you're actually going to utilize these 3 screws. These are going to go in these holes right here. This is different from what I saw online, so that's interesting. And you're going to want to make sure to lock this in place snugly. That way there's no movement and no room for error when you're breaking your CPU. Brian, I do not read instructions. And you know what? There are no instructions. Thank you very much, Brian. I never read the manual. I know, I need to. It's pretty much, I'm gonna get these nice and snug, make sure that there's no movement in the block while I'm doing this. Freaking out. Okay. Then once I have the block in there secure, I'm just going to use this and I'm going to get it to where it's just a little bit of tension on it. Just like that. And then this is it. This is the moment that scares the living crap out of me, actually breaking my processor. So the idea here is to turn it just until you hear a pop. And that pop is the sound of your warranty being expired and potentially an $1,150 catastrophic event happening. I feel like it should be popped by now. It's actually not that hard. I'm just trying not to overdo it. So I'm like putting tension both ways. Okay, now it's actually getting a little tough. Oh, fuck. And that is the sound of an expired warranty and potentially a trashed CPU. Let's open it up and see the damage. Oh my God. I got sweat. I gotta calm down for a second. Vanessa Stoller for the suspense. Thank you for $5. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow, I'm kind of dizzy. It's weird. Now the IHS is technically still stuck on there, and the one thing that I did learn from Steve from Gamers Nexus, again, huge shout out to him. One thing I did learn is that you want to try to pry this directly, but one thing I did learn though is that when you pry this off is you don't want to push it to any side. You want to try to pull it, directly off the top without actually pushing it off to the side. And it could take a little bit of force, but it looks like that came off really, really easily. Wow. Now, here's a good example of why my temperatures probably sucked. And I'm no expert here, but when I look at this, there's a lot of blotchy spots here. Some of them probably are still on the chip, but there's a lot, it's just a horrible job, all in all, of cooling there, or thermal paste application. And I don't know, I'm not an expert, but obviously I'm doing this for a reason. So, but looking at the processor, I don't really care about this because I'm gonna be replacing it. Looking at the processor, okay, as far as I can tell, I am damage-free for any of the capacitors or anything that's attaching to this. The only thing I'm definitely nervous about is that there is a lot of stuff really close to the sealant, and I do have to take the sealant off in order to reapply the sealant with the new IHS. So, I'm not out of the woods yet, but I am one step closer. Stony, I think I saw a $5 from you, man. I appreciate it. Now it's time for the acetone. Okay, to anybody, Rick, I just tuned in. What were your temps? I was hitting TJ Max at 104 with only an overclock of 4.1 at 1.1 voltage. So when I was running just Premiere Pro, I was actually only getting roughly around 94 to 97 degrees Celsius, so I kept it at 4.1. But when I really stress test it, with the Prime 95 stress tester, it was TJ Max and pretty quick. So that's my starting temperatures right now, and hopefully that will be a lot better. I don't even know. The best way to clean this, I guess, is with... Okay, so to get started... Okay, so I have to go through here and pretty much clean off all of this silicone sealant, and I'm just going to use my fingernails. That's what I do have fingernails for. But man, there's a lot of stuff around this that I have to be careful with. Now I actually saw online that some people used an iFixit toolkit. It has like a little plastic scrubber that I probably should have gotten. Out of all the crap that I got, I didn't get a plastic scrubber, and that probably would have made this a lot better, a lot easier, and possibly even a lot safer, but I didn't get that. But hey, I got a good thumbnail here, so. So while I'm doing this, I'll talk about my overclocking just a little bit. I was able to get this chip up to 4.5, 4.6, somewhere around there. Obviously with the temperatures, they get out of control really quick. So TJ Maxx hit and it came into throttling. So that 4.5 was absolutely worthless. Even getting it, like I said before, down to 4.1, it still hits TJ Maxx in a true stress test. So really, when it comes to overclocking, I have not even experienced what I can achieve with this processor yet. But I do know that 4.5 is technically bootable and stable, although I don't know how stable it is yet, just because I doubt it ran at 4.5 consistently for very long when I ran my CPU benchmarking test, just because I assume it throttled pretty quickly. So I'm kind of excited to get in there and see what I can achieve now that the temperatures are hopefully going to be under control. That is, if it still works. My palms are finally less sweaty. Obviously this is going to take some of the longest time just to make sure I do it right. I don't want to get in a hurry when I'm clearing off the silicone because there's a lot of capacitors right next to where the silicone is. And if I slip, I might take one of those off with my thumbnail. And that is definitely not what I want to do. It's like right here, I got a lot of these little tiny, I think those are capacitors right next to it. I don't even know if you can see it. I'll stick it up here. But a lot of those really tiny ones down there at the bottom, and that's going to be really close. So, got to be really careful. God, I can't even get to it. Doesn't help that I'm shaking. Okay, I think I got it. I got a decent amount anyways. Okay, I might circle back to that side. But I got a lot of the bulk off of it, so that's good. Same thing on this side. Got a lot of those capacitors real close to that sealant right there. I don't know if those are capacitors, transistors. I have no idea. I'm not that nerdy. Now, I think, for all the live stream people, I think this might be a precursor to a custom loop. I don't know, because if I get really good temperatures and I get solid overclocking, but I think I still have some headroom, I may actually look into a water loop, like a full-on custom water loop. I don't know. I mean, it's going to cost probably about $1,000, so I don't know. I want to. But I want it to be as little maintenance as possible. So that's why I haven't done it yet. Well, that added cost. And the all-in-one, I mean, honestly, I ran the all-in-one, the Kraken X61. It's still running on my X59 system, X99 system. And I haven't really had to do anything besides I think I might have reapplied thermal paste. I don't know. Okay, like you guys are saying there in the chat, now that I got kind of the major stuff cleared off, I think I'm gonna run a paper towel over it. And everyone keeps saying this acetone is for silicone. So I'm gonna do that. And take your word for it. It's not really doing much to the silicone. Not doing much at all. Honestly. And this is literally just nail polish remover, but I guess it's pulling a little off. It's not really doing anything. Do I use acetone on the... No, I don't know. I'm not going to use acetone for that. I'm going to use alcohol for that. I don't know if it's the same thing, is it? Yeah, whatever. I don't like using paper towels for that. Okay, when it comes to that custom loop, I forgot the website, but I did go through there and kind of choose like the block and, you know, the pump and the reservoir, and I have kind of sort of built what I want, and I think it was like $900 to do a custom loop, and that's really what I'm expecting. But that's also using like that tool that Jay from Jay's 2 Cents talked about, where you basically just plug in what you got, plug in what you want to do, and it kind of builds everything for you as far as your fittings and everything. So oh wow, that is not coming off. Now it's coming off. Okay, a lot of silence, I know that, but it's coming along nicely. I haven't done any damage. I still have some acid or some of this rubber shit to get off, the sealant. But right now I'm just cleaning off the core here. that's a lot. I don't need that much. Okay, that looks good. It's nice and shiny. Freaking mirror right now. Now this, yeah, this doesn't actually need to clean out the silicone on the bottom. So I think just a little bit more cleaning or scraping on this. So I think that looks pretty good. See if I can get this down here. I think that looks pretty good. It's basically a mirror finish. Looks great. No scratches or anything. I got most of the silicone pulled off, and I think it's ready to apply liquid metal. I don't know how much I should get this off. I'm scared to use any other tool. Yeah. Why did you not return? Because this is for all of the Skylake processors. Video collab with Jay's 2 cents. Yeah, right. That dude is way bigger than me. I'd be lucky to get a Twitter response to Jay's 2 cents, let alone actually a collab out of him. Even then, I mean, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it on my own, you know, and try to do the best I can, obviously. Now, for applying the liquid metal, something that I did see online, a big thing that they do, either A or one, apply like a nail polish on all the little capacitors around the edge there so you don't get anything on there, thus shorting it out. So I don't have any of that, but another option is to use tape. Put it around the center there, and then when you do that, you can spread the liquid metal a little bit more generously or easily and not risk any kind of like contamination on the electronics around it. So I'm going to do that instead. Okay, so as you can see here, what I did is I just taped around it, basically marking that off. So now when I apply my liquid metal, I shouldn't run into any issues as far as getting any spillovers or anything like that. So this should make it way easier to accomplish what I need. Electrical tape, meh, too late for that. Already committed. Baby shark, I don't know what that means. Oh, it actually comes with spreaders. Fuck yeah. Okay, so it looks like the kit that comes with the Thermal Grizzly liquid metal actually gives you the spreaders that you need. So literally almost everything in that kit was a waste of my money. Awesome. I don't know. I guess that. Alcohol pads, okay. Instructions, psh, I don't need no freaking instructions. Do not use with aluminum heat sinks. Okay, I have copper. The less liquid metal you apply, the better. Okay, a baby shark, I don't know what that means. Okay, now the idea here for the liquid metal is to get just a little bitty drop here. The good thing is that since I do have the tape around the processor, that if I do have some excess, I can kind of brush it off to the side. Hopefully it doesn't all come out too fast, but still, you want to just get a little bitty drop on there so you can spread that out evenly. And I saw online, at least with Steve, he was actually spreading it on not only the chip itself, but he also put it on the back of this. So I'm probably going to do that as well. Just a little thin layer. And of course it came out super fast. That was awesome. And as you can see here, it landed all on that tape, so it's really nice that I had that protection on there. So now I'm just going to spread this out, a nice thin layer throughout the whole thing. Okay, now I got the spread out, but this is a primary example of the wrong way to do it. As you can see here, it's pulled up. So this is way too much. I do not need this much. This will be a very bad thing for me. So I'm going to try to use, or to sop up some of this and actually put another thin layer on the copper plate itself. I'm gonna transfer some of that over and hopefully I can undo some of that damage there. But this is way too much, at least according to Steve. And I'm going to try something actually from the chat here, since I'm live streaming it as well. I'm going to see if I can soak up some of this excess liquid metal with this syringe. That did not do anything. Nope. That was completely pointless. Okay. So I guess I'm going to try to soak it up with a regular Q-tip, and hopefully I don't get any fibers. I'm just... Oh, man. Use a coffee filter. I think I'm good because what I ended up doing was, utilizing that tape that I put around the edge, which was the original idea, really. I mean, use the tape around the edge to kind of spread that excess stuff off to the side to help balance it out and not be like pooling up. So the last thing I want it to do is pull up. I just want a nice thin layer. And then I'm trying to kind of mimic here on the copper IHS. Which seems to be doing okay. I'm gonna have to use this other side here, take off some of that excess stuff. Try a little dap, just a little bitty dap. It did not attach itself to that at all. Okay, liquid metal does not attach itself to a coffee filter at all. Okay, honestly, I think it actually looks pretty good. The only thing that I'm now worried about is that even transferring this over to the copper IHS, it might be a little excessive on here, but maybe not. It's just a little bit of pulling action that I want to cut down on. Okay, I've resorted to regular Q-tips to try to clear off this excess stuff on the IHS, because there are some spots here where it was pooling up. And I don't want a pool of liquid metal, I just want a thin layer of liquid metal. I think that might be good. Of course, now I got a little fiber that I gotta take off. Okay, well, I think I have it. Maybe a little bit too much here in the middle. No, it's really not that bad. I think it's a thin enough layer. I don't know. I don't know how thin or how thick it should be. He just said don't make it pool. So I think that's good. See if I can get that easy for you to see there. I think this is good. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm going to take off this tape. Which was definitely a lifesaver. Make sure I don't have anything on my fingers. There you go, you can see all that excess right there. Definitely good I had that on. Oh, there's a little bit that got in there still. I gotta take that out. I got on the edge. I don't know how it got there, but the little bit spilled over. I'm gonna remove that with just a regular Q-tip, even though this Q-tip has a lot of freaking fibers on it. There we go. Move that excess liquid metal just like that. There we go. There you have it. Nice thin layer of liquid metal all over that. Now it's just a matter of resealing it, maybe taking a little bit more attention to this copper IHS here. Remove just a little bit of this excess. It's on top. There's just a couple areas here where it seemed to be pulling up a little bit, and I don't want any pulling. Good to go. Now, to make sure that I did this right and I put everything back the way it was supposed to be, I took a picture of how it was supposed to line up, just so I make sure it does line up correctly. I'm sure there's a method to it, but that's what I did, so. Okay, where's the block? So here's the block. I'm going to put this like that. Gonna line up the arrows like I did before. And then this should go, this should sit on it just like that. But before I do that, I'm going to apply some sealant to it. Now this is just regular silicone, ultra black, advanced formula, gasket maker. So this is pretty generic stuff, but I did buy it just to make sure I had what I needed. And I want to make sure that I get a little bit here. I'm going to do this kind of a thin layer. I want it to seal, but I don't want it to be too thick. And it looks like it's only going to be attaching itself here on the sides here. Okay, so to line this up, oh, gotta flip it around. So lining this up with my picture. Perfect. Actually, I think that's what this is for. I've never used this tool before, but I'm assuming this is gonna go on the top like so. Just gonna hold that down. Is it supposed to click in there? I don't know. Probably should have read the manual. Okay, I think that's how that works. Yeah, should be how it works. I'm just gonna go with that. Okay, so this holds everything in place. This sits over the top. And then this should just screw in at the top and hold it in place while it cures. Looks like there's actually some little pieces of plastic as I thread this through. I don't want to get it too tight. Just tight enough. And there you have it. That is the delidding process, start to finish. Completely winged it. Did not read the frickin' manual, as everyone keeps telling me to do. But this holds it in place while the sealant cures around the edge. I really probably should have gotten some super glue. A lot of people use super glue on the corners here to hold it down. I did not. I just used regular sealant. But hey, hopefully it works out for me. Ooh, shit. I'm just getting this tight to where it's holding it in place without putting too much pressure on it. So that should be good. So I'm gonna let this hold it in place. I think the cure time on this is 6 to 8 hours. Let me read this. Oh no, does not say. I think the cure time is 6 to 8 hours, so I'm gonna let this sit for 6 to 8 hours. Hopefully it'll seal on there like it should, and then I will plug it in to my computer, and hopefully, if all worked out well today, it will boot up. If not, I will cry and then order another $1,124 processor and try it again, because I'm that dumb. But hey, I'm not gonna end the video. I'm gonna record the results, so there's no reason to end it. I think it should be good. Let me stop that. Well, guys, that's it. I did not read the manual. I did watch a lot of YouTube videos, mainly YouTube videos from Steve from Gamers Nexus. There was a couple other ones I think I stumbled on, but you know, really, I just relied heavily on Steve's videos because he seemed like he went through a lot of this with a few different processors, and he did like a vlog style thing where he said, you know, what he learned along the way, the mistakes he made, he showcased it, and hopefully with everything that he said or showed. Let me switch this to 1. So hopefully with everything that he showed, everything that I watched on his videos, hopefully I didn't screw up my processor. It's very possible I did, but so far it looks like it should be good. I guess we'll find out. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, follow me at @_BiteMyBits. I will get this plugged in. And I don't know why that's recording still. I will get this plugged in, see if it boots, and if it does boot, I will post some preliminary thermals where I do some stress tests with Prime 95. So if it boots, I'll post it on Twitter, and I will post the temperatures that I get, and hopefully, cross my fingers, I don't have to redo this, because that would suck. But if I have to redo it, or if it just freaking doesn't work at all, then I will also show that. So, any questions? I should go to the chat here. How much was the cooling kit? What do you mean? The rocket kit itself was like 40 or 50 bucks, but everything that I bought, the thermal grizzly, you know, kits, the liquid metal, and then the thermal grease that I'm going to use to hook up to the all-in-one, with everything, I think it was like 80 bucks total, somewhere along that range. I don't know exactly for sure. Let me get this shit off my desk before it freaking stains my desk. But it was about 80 bucks all in all. It wasn't too bad. And that copper IHS was an add-on, so I didn't have to get that. I think that was like 16 bucks or $16.99 or something. I don't even know if that's gonna do anything, and I might not even end up using it, because what if the thermals are screwed up and I go back to the stock IHS? I don't know. I might end up doing that. Hopefully, though, I can just plug this in and everything works like it's supposed to. Will you please sing the little teapot. That doesn't, I'm a little teapot short. Okay. Better order another CPU. No, it'll be all right. Yes. You should have watched Dura, to be honest. I did. I watched a bunch of videos. I don't think it should have glued it on all 4 sides. Well, I did. Well, I used the sealant. So, any other questions before I end this little live stream of mine? That delay is real. Tell you what. Why not direct die? I don't know what that means. So, yes, Brian, you could probably go back and see the beheading and probably see my stupid face where I freaked out because that sound, it's like pop, just scared the crap out of me. And I was nervous getting up to it. Well, I don't have any questions, it looks like, in chat. So, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. Does this say Elite Dangerous Lost in Space? It should say Delidding. Okay. Well, whatever. Too late now. The stream is done. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everyone for watching. Keep a lookout for Twitter posts showing whether or not this works, and whether it works or does not work, I will make a video that is edited down to be a little bit more watchable to show my end results, however good or bad that might be. So $5. Josh Clevenger, what processor would you recommend for 3 streams at once? No encoding on Plex? Josh, honestly, with no encoding, with only 3 streams, you could probably use a freaking Raspberry Pi. So, a Raspberry Pi. I mean, with just a direct stream, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I got a Q6600 on the shelf that'll probably, serve 3 streams. So, I mean, if you don't have any like streaming requirements, like transcoding requirements, then I mean, just about any processor should do it. Any regrets before you plug it in? No, I think I did. I think everything went really well. I think using the tape to get all that spillover was probably the best freaking idea. If could have, oh, I should have used this. I should have used this to scrape it off. I didn't. I'm stupid. But anyways, using the tape definitely allowed me to, spread it generously with, not with making sure that I'm not spilling it over onto the side. So that was probably one of the good things that I did. Everyone would freak out. Well, you did good. Everyone would freak out. I don't know. I panicked a little bit more than I probably should have. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I think I'm going to end this right now. So I will let you know on Twitter whether or not it works, @_BiteMyBits. Thank you for everybody who donated to this ridiculous random stream. I appreciate it. I think I'm going to do a little bit of chores. I really need to mow the lawn. So everyone, have a good day.